Good morning, Groovers, and welcome to the Shxtty Kitty Kitchen. It's called that not because of the food we make here, but because our production values are pretty basic. And we're on a bit of a kooky angle because I had to plug my phone into charge. So I hope you don't get sense there because our production values are pretty basic. All right, I can mute myself now. I've got YouTube up so I can read chat there too. Hello, beautiful Scout and Sunny. Well, she was curled up asleep on the beanbag, which is over near the door out on the deck. It's a very windy, wet day here. We're only going to get to 14. I've got my sister-in-law and my beautiful niece, Lily, joining me for lunch today. So we're going to be making a quiche. Sunny doesn't like to be picked up, but for the hell of it, since it's the Shxtty Kitty Kitchen, let's say hi. Here's my Shxtty Kitty, Sunny. You going to smile? No. It's amazing she hasn't actually attacked me yet. You'll get a treat later. So this is Sunny. For those of you who haven't met her yet, I rescue older cats. She's 9 years old and she wants me to put her down. She's beautiful. There you go, Mooks. So I'm going to wash our hands first up, have a bit of a chat about the quiche I'm about to make, and yeah, a bit of Sunny action. She's cute as cute can be. She's going to get very excited when Nikki and Lily arrive because she loves meeting people. She's wicked like that. So we're making a tomato and basil quiche. Now, I started making this back when I was a uni student. It's very affordable. I have changed a few things. It's out of this classic cookbook, Best Recipes from the Weekly. Now, the Women's Weekly was an Australian magazine that weirdly was monthly, but it was called The Weekly. I can't find the year this was published, but I know that I bought it for $5.98. I don't care about you see my name. This is my old channel name, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, $5.98. I bought this. I've got a lot of my mum's and my grandmother's old Women's Weekly cookbooks, but this one is one I actually bought for myself. And this is the quiche we're going to make today. It's tomato and basil, and it's got a very creamy leek base. Vegetarian, it's delicious. But back in the day, she is beautiful. When you come to my house, do not get dressed up because even on our best days, Sunny is still going to, on Sunny's worst day, she's still going to look better than all of us on our best days. But many years ago, I discovered this recipe as well, which is for a leek quiche. And if you notice, the leek quiche has actually got filo pastry as the crust, not a short crust like the tomato and basil one. So I tried to switch it up and put the filo pastry instead of the short crust, and it's amazing. Now, I have fucked up. I didn't take the filo pastry out of the freezer overnight, but I've currently got it sitting on my hydronic heating radiator, trying to help it to defrost a little more quickly. But I'm not precious about stuff like that. I mean, as long as you can spread it out and put butter and stuff on it, hopefully it will work. So, hey, Ruth, how you doing, gorgeous? Speaking of the pastry, I'm just going to flip it over. Did you see Sunny? Did you arrive in time for Sunny? If not, she's at the start. So the first thing we are going to do is the filo. But before we do that, we need to brush it in some butter. I'm going to turn this down, hopefully. Wait a minute, I'll just have a sip of my coffee. Today's mantra, everybody. Be amazing. So how do we do this? I'm trying something different today. I'm just going to wait till YouTube catches up to see how to get everything in that I need in the screen and everything I don't need out of the screen. Okay, we're on a slightly kooky angle. Okay, we've caught up. So this little Tupperware mat is fantastic. Hey, Mel, oh my God, it's the mod reunion. So it's all All wrenches in my chat. Did you see I posted your stream on my community page? The title of it. I'll have to go and have a look. I didn't. But I did see that you uploaded a video, Mel, about your nails. I was so excited. The video you did for sticks. That was so cool. Yeah, be amazing. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to be amazing. I don't have any practice yet. So these mats from Tupperware, bakers swear by them. I'm not a massive baker, as you guys know, but you should see the angle and everything. I've got this. Oh, hang on. I've just kicked myself out of YouTube as well. They swear by them, and it's got these sort of circles so you can cut pastry to certain sizes and all the rest of it. I'm going to show you how I do that, but I'm just using this because it's just easy to lay the pastry out. But what we actually need to do first is melt some butter. One side. This is one of my favourite things in the kitchen. This is a little enamel jug that my mum gave me, and it's so handy for like melting small amounts of stuff. Like, I absolutely love it. If this ever perishes, there will be tears. And we need to melt about 65 grams of butter. Fortunately, in Australia and probably around the world, our blocks of butter have little measuring things on there, so it's just a case of boom, and in she goes. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but if you ever come to Tasmania, or if you ever see Duck River butter outside of Tasmania, which I don't think you will, this butter is food porn. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but after that, I think I should be. Oh, sorry, it's only 45 grams of butter that we need, not 65. What am I talking about? But I'm just going to go for the 50 grams. You never have too much butter. I've done it on a slightly quirky angle anyway. But I love this little juggy jug. It's like very, very handy for melting things and for clocking people on the head if they come into your kitchen when they weren't invited. I'm kidding. Everyone's welcome in the Shxtty Kitty Kitchen. Aren't they, Sonny? No, they're not. Fuck off, Mum. Okay, fair enough. Sonny is so cute, isn't she? Oh, that was a test thing. I will be starting to record a few episodes today. Yay! Lynette's in trouble. Woohoo! Excellent news, Mel. Excellent news. All right, just turn the stove top on. I'm not going to bother filming this. I don't think your lives are not going to be complete if you don't get to see some butter melting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think everyone knows what melting butter looks like, yeah? I'm going to see if somebody comes in that is wrenchless. Please speak in chat if you are, because it looks like a wrench only live, but it's not. While that butter is a melting, I might just start chopping up the leeks that are going to go in the base of this quiche. Now, some of you were with me last night when I was poaching some veggies, and I ran out of room in the pot, so I didn't actually add the leek. So I'm going to use the leek that I'd planned on using yesterday. The recipe calls for 1 leek, and this is the white and a little bit of green part of 1 leek. Doesn't have to be too, you don't have to be too precious. We're just chopping it up. It's going to get pan fried. And if my setup works, I'll be able to carry the camera over, so you will get to see some cooking leek action. So I've just chopped up the leek. Just use the white part of it. I mean, have a bit of green, obviously, but don't worry about the leaves. Use them when you're making like a chicken stock or a veggie stock. Hello, William. You're wrenchless. Well, you're in a sea of wenches. I mean, wrenches. So enjoy it. Oh, you're taking egg to hell. See you, Mel. Thanks for popping in. G'day, egg. Love your egg. Love your egg. Right, so we've chopped up the leeks. Like, this is such an easy thing to make. Let's see how the butter's going. We're nearly there. I'm melting it on a fairly low heat. We don't want burnt butter, but I do love burnt butter. Oh my God. There you go. You can admire the chopped leeks. I'll just go and grab the tomatoes. Needing them in a minute too, considering it is a tomato and basil quiche. So hopefully my sissy-in-law and my niece are going to enjoy this lunch. I know it's a winner quiche. It's very basic, but sometimes basic is best. You've never made a quiche, Scout? Well, I hope that this inspires you because it's very simple. I was thinking, what would be that noise? And it'd be the bubbling butter. Especially when you use filo pastry. Now, one of the reasons I like using filo is it makes a really delicious base. It's very buttery and crunchy on the edges, but also you don't need to blind bake filo pastry first. But if you're using a short crust, when you make the pastry, you can buy ready-made, but if you make it from scratch, then you've got to put it in the quiche dish, then you've got to blind bake it, then you've got to let it cool down, then you've got to fill it. Pain in the arse. We're all about shortcuts in the Shxtty Kitty Kitchen. And the reason I'm using store-bought filo is I've never made filo in my life. I don't own a Thermomix. One of my friends said, who's a chef, said they've got Thermomixes in their kitchen to make things like filo pastry in because it's really hard to make. Okay, speaking of filo, I feel a bit of pastry action coming on. Hopefully it's defrosted enough for us to use it. I'll make it work. So I'm using a ready-made filo. Don't make it from scratch. Unless you've got a Thermomix and you're into doing your head in trying to make fancy things like filo pastry. You've never made a quiche with filo. Cool. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you, gorgeous. So, yeah, the box does say allowed to thaw at room temperature in the cardboard carton for 4 hours or overnight in the refrigerator plus 2 hours at room temp. I haven't done that. I'm going to wing it with partially defrosted filo pastry. Any pastry that you don't use, don't pop it back in the freezer, but you do need to use it in the next, I think, what does it say? Couple of days. Use within 3 days. So if you do buy the store filo and you've got any left over, make another quiche. This is defrosted enough for me. I can work with this. Now, it says to use 4 sheets. I'm going to use whatever feels right. So with each sheet, lay it out on your little chopping board or whatever. This one's got a split in it. That's fine. Probably all of them will. But when it says to use 4, you actually want 8 layers of filo. So I'll be using 8 because I've got my quiche dish is this size and you pop it over there. So I'll actually be using 8 sheets. And then you just brush the butter on. Don't worry if it's a bit folded over and stuff like that. It'll all work. Trust me. Someone keep count. I'll lose count. All right. So, and you don't have to cover every bit. You just want to put butter on it. So now we're on to sheet number 2. And I'm very rustic in my cooking. I'm not precious, as you will discover if you start watching me cooking more often. Things that are made with love always taste incredible. They don't have to look perfect because it's made with love. It's going to just taste yum, 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 yum. Oh, Christmas mince pies in filo are wonderful. Yeah, the little pot's cute, isn't it, Scout? Okay, we're on to sheet number 3. Now, remember, guys, we're counting to 8. I get easily distracted with chat and I'll lose count. I already know that is likely. So we're on to sheet number 3. It has defrosted pretty well sitting on my radiator. So there's a little trick for you guys. I'll put a little bit of butter on the edges on this one because okay, we're up to number 4, I believe. Somebody keeping count? Is this number 4? Whoops. Like I said again, if they fold over and they break and whatever, it doesn't matter because we're creating 8 layers of buttered filo to make the pastry base. It already smells good, and all it is melted butter and filo pastry, and it already smells yum, 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 yum. Now, you'll see when I assemble it that we're going to have all these random shards of filo shooting out the side of the quiche dish, so that's why I'm not being overly precious. I'm actually taking that piece out because it's in the middle and it's the least defrosted. And I'm going to flip this over and go from this side. So this should be number 5, right? I think so, says Ruth. We've got no idea, have we? All right. This is actually 2 pieces together, so it's 5 and 6. Like I said, you don't have to be really precious. You just want to get butter because what happens when it cooks, oh, my God, it just turns into this buttery, crunchy pastry. Oh, it is so yum. The butter moves around when it's cooking, so you don't have to cover every single sheet. I mean, every part of every sheet. Okay, so that was 5 and 6. Number 7. I love making lunch for people. I love cooking dinner for people, but I don't know, there's something about lunches because you can make, and it's such a wet, windy day outside, so it's going to be so yummy to have this beautiful, freshly baked quiche, fresh out of the oven. If it's cooked before they get here, you just take it out of the oven when it's finished cooking, and then you just pop it back in for 5 or 10 minutes on about 100 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't recook it, but it just warms it up again. And it will still have that crunch and everything going. Okay, last one. I'm just going to see what temperature the oven needs to be set at. A moderate oven. Moderate. Okay, I'm going to go with 180. Get the oven warming up. Okay, last bit of filo. You have a big problem with filo dough? Oh, I've never tried to make it. I mean, I make short crust pastry. I make puff pastry. I make all the different pastries except filo. I've never bothered. My chef friends are like, no, if you don't have to make it from scratch, don't. So we're just going to pour the last of the butter onto the last sheet. And that's all you need to do. Heaps easier than making a short crust and blind baking. Now, the leftover filo, that piece back in that I took out before. Just whatever you've got left over, pop it back in the box, and you pop it in your fridge, not back in the freezer, and just need to make something with the pastry over the next few days. You've got 3 days to use it. I've actually got my sister coming for dinner tomorrow night. And I'm going to use some of the leftover poached vegetables from last night. And I was thinking about doing like a chicken pot pie. So I'll probably use the other bits of filo, make those pies this afternoon, and then we're both working tomorrow. So when we get back down here after work, we can just pop them in the oven and warm them up. I was told to always buy full pastry ready rolled. So I do. Yeah, I like making short crust pastries and stuff like that from scratch, but it is really entirely up to you what you want to do. Okay, so now that we've got that, this is a quiche dish that we're going to use. It does have a removable base, which is great. So when it's cooked, if you want to actually lift it out and serve it on a plate, it makes life a lot easier when you use something like this. But I also think serving it straight from the dish is perfectly fine. And what we want to do is, just using this as a rough guide, I wonder if it'll actually cut it. Oh, I don't want to cut it through. Don't press too hard, Tori. You just want to cut around the edges and leave about, I don't know, 1 or 2 centimetres outside the edges, because I want it to be shooting up and having a bit of theatre, a bit of drama. So when you cut it, leave a little bit over. You don't cut the filo so that it fits perfectly to the tin. And I'm keeping these other bits on the side for a minute. I'll show you why. Now you don't need to oil this, because this is going to be the bottom layer, and it's got lots and lots of butter on it. So you just lift that out, flip it over. I'll get rid of that. Thoroughly recommend these baking mats if you can find one. That one's a Tupperware one, but it's really good. And then we're just going to put the filo in. But what we want to do, you can fold it over on the edges a little bit. And there it is, sitting pretty in there. Now, there are some bits like here where there's still some metal. So using some of these leftover offcuts, what I do, and it makes it really dramatic, if it stays up and it's choosing not to, it might be a bit thick. Hang on a sec. I just go around with little off-cutty bits, random bits, and just stick them in as well. What you want to try to do is get a few that stick up so that you end up with these sort of pointy shards, but don't get too precious about it. I'm just filling in a bit of the bits where there's a bit of metal exposed. And I'm big on using everything up, so just use up all the leftover edges. I know it doesn't look very pretty at the moment, but wait till you see it when it comes out of the oven. Don't judge it just yet. A few more. So yeah, these little bits that are popping up, they get really crispy and pointy, and I don't know, they just look kind of cool. But like I said, don't be precious with it. Just be a bit random. Okay, so that's done. It does look a bit strange, but trust me, you're going to love it. Actually, you can leave this on the bench, but we're going to move over to the stovetop, because the next thing we want to do is prepare the filling. Our little pastry base can just sit there and wait for the filling to occur. So we're just going to disconnect my charger. I'm going to bring it over here. Hang on, is it better on this side? Yep, perfect. Go Tory. This is much easier than the way I did it last night. And because we haven't already got enough butter, in the dish, we're going to add some butter to this pan, and we're going to pan fry the leeks that we chopped up earlier. Just that sort of amount of butter is more than enough. That's about 30 grams. That's such a great idea, the way to use the leftover pieces. Oh, you don't know me at all. Hello, gorgeous. Yeah, it's good to use the leftovers. Waste not, want not. And yes, as weird as it might look, when you say it cooked, you'll be like, wow, that's really pretty. Okay. Or you might be like, wow, that's really weird. So we've got a bit of leek cooking action coming up. Thank you, mods, too, for letting everyone know what we're cooking. It is a tomato and basil quiche. Very simple. Nikki and Lily aren't going to be here till 12:30. This will be cooked and good to go, and the house will smell amazing. And then 10 minutes before they do get here, I'll just pop it in the oven on a very low temperature just to keep it warm. And I'm going to make a little salad at the end, but I'll show you my cheap salad as well. Hi, Sunny. Hi. She started talking a little bit. Did you hear her then? That's as loud as her voice is. If you come to here, everyone will be able to see you in the camera, I reckon. Maybe. All right, so we're just melting some butter. This is one of my favourite kitchen implements too. Look how loved and worn this is. A little wooden spatula that I've had since I was at university in the 80s. It was actually my housemate's, her grandmother had to move into aged care and packed up the house, and Christina said, let me know if there's anything you want. So I went and had a look, and this is what I took. I mean, it was a perfect little wooden spatula when I got it, but I love it so much. It's so seasoned. It's so loved. I've used it for, well, since 1988, I think. Yummy. Just the smell of melting. The whole house is just going to smell buttery and divine. So a bit earlier on, we chopped up a leek, just the white part of the leek. With obviously there's a bit of green, but you know the end bit of the leek, not the big tough green leaves. They're really good for chucking into things like chicken stock and stuff like that. They're not great to eat, or I haven't at least found a recipe yet where I find them pleasurable. So we're just going to pan fry those leeks. I'm just getting a few other things ready while the leeks are cooking. You just want to pan fry them until they're tender. And cream Sunny, that's the most important. Smells really good in here, guys. Leek and butter cooking is the next best thing to onion and garlic and butter cooking. Tomato, leek and bacon is scrummy. It is. Yeah, true leek and potato soup, absolutely. Yes, please hit the like and subscribe. I lost 10 subscribers yesterday. I think because I've stopped talking about drama and I'm just cooking, people are like, I don't want to hang out with her. She's boring. But leek and potato soup, good for the weekends. There's a little tip for you, Groovers. Thank you for that tip, Ruth. I've got a little bowl. And I need a spoon. These are pretty tender. You definitely don't want them to be browned. So I'm pretty happy with that. And obviously they're going to cook in the oven as well. So they're good for me. Let's go back over to the... Oh, there's Sunny. She's eating some food. Can you see her? Sunny, you're on YouTube. Like, fuck off. Okay. I got you here. All right, Ski. Now I've got to see where that spot was before. Hopefully that's back in shot. I'll wait and see what it looks like on the YouTubes. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do the filling for the quiche. While the leek is cooling down a little bit, I'll get the other bits and pieces ready. We're going to be putting eggs, 3 eggs, 3 googolinos into a bowl. Because what's a quiche without eggs, right? If you don't like eggs, you're not going to like this recipe. Just saying. Next in, we're going to put some cream. We want 300 mils of cream. This is a 250 ml jug. Oh, now I should mention something. This cream, I actually defrosted. It was frozen cream, which freaks people out. I didn't know you could do that. But Christmas Day, I had a heap of extra cream left over and was like, what the fuck am I going to do with it? And I discovered you can freeze it. Now, when it defrosts, it will split. You've got to shake it a lot. And it does have a little bit of a lumpy kind of look to it, but it still tastes exactly like cream should. It doesn't affect it. It's brilliant actually to cook with. You probably wouldn't want to put it on a dessert or anything like that, but it's perfect for cooking. And not that long ago, I had a lunch and same scenario. I had a bit of leftover cream. So you can freeze it, defrost it in the fridge on a plate. You've got to use it in the next 2 to 3 days when it's defrosted, but it's perfect to cook with. Well, that's kind of a handy tip for people because I didn't actually know that myself, but it's, you know, for people that are in lockdown and self-isolating and stuff like that, it's a handy tip. Yeah, some quiches have a lot more than 3 eggs, but this one just needs 3. Use your eggs for micro quiches. Why not? Next up, we're going to grate some cheese. You want about 3/4 of a cup's worth. A nice bit of white. This is going to be way more than 3/4 of a cup, but it's much easier to hold a big lump. I don't know what that was. This is a Tasmanian cheddar. I buy it in big blocks. Delicious. I'm sort of doing semi-keto, low carb again, and you need a lot of cheese. So we're going in the blocky. I don't think you can ever overdo cheese. This is probably more like a cup's worth, but it works for me. Now, a lot of people buy cheese already grated in a bag. You can use that too. It's totally up to you. I don't use that stuff as often as the last time I did keto, I was in recipes a lot, and then I was reading that there's a lot of starch because it's kind of like long life cheese. So I've gone back to traditional grating. But no judgment here. Whatever's if making things easier for people means they're more likely to cook, then I want them to do whatever gets them cooking in the kitchen. And the beauty with quiches is like Nikki and I'll have it for lunch, but there'll be enough for me for lunch for work tomorrow. You can freeze slices, like individual portions of quiche, and when you're making your lunch the night before, if you're that organised, you'll be like, oh, there's some quiche in the freezer, wicked, and pop it in your lunchbox. It'll be defrosted by lunchtime the next day. So we've added the cheese, and we're also going to add the leeks. Just let them cool down a little bit. Don't put them straight in when they're straight off the stovetop. Not that it was on a really high heat, but you don't want them cooking the eggs. And you want to mix that up and definitely make sure that all the eggs are broken. We will have more of an egg and leek pie happening than a quiche. It's a pretty thick mixture, by the way. Now, you don't actually season this part. There's no need to put salt or pepper or anything in the filling because all the flavours are going to be going on top. How good does that look, guys? Fruity nom nom. So we're just going to pour this now into our pastry paste. It's already kind of smoothed itself out pretty evenly anyway, but just check there was a little bit of yolk there that I just broke up with the spatula. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the topping. So that's essentially the base of the quiche. Now we're going to dress it with some stuff on top. Now, the first thing is I don't peel tomatoes when they tell you to peel tomatoes. If you want to peel tomatoes, go for it. I think it's a step that's unnecessary. The tomatoes are going to cook in the oven. The skin isn't all sort of stringy that you can like turn it into a toothpick and clean your teeth while you're eating. If you don't like the tomato skin, then boil some water, blanch them, pull them straight out and peel the skin off. But I'm showing you the easiest way to do it, and I personally wouldn't bother peeling the tomatoes, but it's entirely up to you if you want to do that or not. And we're just going to cut them into sort of 1 centimetre slices, this kind of thickness. They don't have to be, you know, ridiculously consistent. They are going to be sitting in that beautiful leek base. I do take the little stalky bit out. I don't use the ends either. But again, waste not, want not. I will find something else I'll be cooking and those little end bits will go in as well. I'm making possibly making some chicken pot pies for my sister and I for dinner tomorrow night. So they'll get chopped up and added to that. But they just don't look pretty on the quiche. And we want a pretty quiche, guys. G'day, Aussie. Hey, Grandma Ducky. It is a judgment-free zone. But yeah, we're making a quiche and it's so delicious. And it is like when you go live on YouTube, it kind of, as much as I want to keep cooking and encouraging people to cook, it can take me like an hour and a half to make stuff when I'm live because I'm reading chat and everything. And I hope it doesn't put people off actually. I'll take that out too. I hope it doesn't put people off actually having a crack at cooking because it doesn't take this long. If I was just making this on my own, it'd probably take half an hour max to assemble and get it in the oven. So yeah, the downside of going live and cooking is I'm worried that people are thinking, oh my God, that took her 2 hours. But it really doesn't. And if you want the recipe, the link to it is in the description. Okay. So now we've got our tomato slices. Like I said, I personally wouldn't give a shit about skinning them. I like them as they are, but the recipe says if you do skin them, you can assemble a heap of herbs and like roll the edges, but I'm going to show you a much better way to do it, I think, anyway. Oops. Pop our slices in a bowl. You probably notice I keep flipping my chopping boards because that's just how I do it, rather than using 30 chopping boards. Now we're going to be adding some beautiful homegrown basil from my herb kitchen. My little kitchen herb garden. I've got a few different herbs growing out on the deck as well. But yeah, this basil's starting to look a little bit worse for where I've hoed into it a bit. It's absolutely beautiful. But you want about 3/4 of a cup of basil. This is where the recipe and I also disagree. It says to chop it. Don't chop basil, guys. Rip it with your hands. I don't like chopped basil or, really tiny and whatever. I prefer to just rip it with my hands. Look at it. This poor little thing has been stripped bare. I need to put a little elastic on it so it looks like a full and healthy, happy plant. It is a happy plant. It's getting eaten, though, a lot. This should yield about a cup's worth of basil. But, yeah, if you want to go choppy, go for it. I prefer to just rip it up with my hands. I mean, try to break it up so that it's fine, into littleish pieces. But if there's a few whole leaves and stuff that end up in there like this little guy, just leave them in there. Rip a bit of it up. Don't be precious about it. If you want to chop it, chop it. All the beautiful basil oils on your fingers smell amazing too. But that is seriously what I do. That's pretty much the extent of my chopping up the basil. I don't want to roll the edges of tomato in finely chopped basil. Not that fast. I'm pretty rustic in my style of cooking. I am, however, going to chop up some parsley as well. You probably want about half a cup of chopped parsley. But I am going to chop the parsley up so that it's easy to mix it all through. It's not a textural thing. I actually love just eating leaves of parsley as they are. But I do want a bit of chopped up greenery herbs throughout the dish as well. And then these sort of random chunks of basil. Okay, so we add the parsley to the bowl as well. If you wanted to use different herbs, go for it, although the basil I thoroughly recommend because it is a tomato and basil quiche. There's really very few flavour combinations, in my opinion, that are better than the simple ones, and tomato and basil is such a simple pairing, and it's absolute perfection. No, I didn't make the pastry, Aussie, because I'm using filo. So we used a frozen filo that I've defrosted, but I have tried to. It looks a bit weird at the moment, but when you see it cooked, you'll be like, okay, all those random shards make sense. So we've added basil as well, and then we're going to just mix it up. Now, don't worry about using spoons and stuff. Just get your hands in and the tomatoes damp, like they're moist, they're juicy. So the herbs are gonna attach themselves to the bits of tomato. You don't need to use spoons for this sort of stuff. And how do I move this without getting herbs all over it? And then what you want to do is start putting the tomato pieces in the quiche dish, and you want them sort of filling it. But again, you don't have to be super precious about how you do it. You want to use them all up if you can, so they can, they can fall over a bit. Like the middle of a tomato bit just fell out there, so I'm just going to fill it with that. Look at, guys, look how pretty it is already. And honestly, this is the most delicious quiche. A lot of people, I think, overdo quiches with lots of different fillings, and not everyone likes them because they get a bit too heavy. This is a really light, like it's beautiful in summer with a salad, like in the warmer season, but it's also beautiful in winter. It's still got yummy wintry sort of flavours and everything. It's not like a super dense one. Now, if you wanted to make it a meaty one, you could have added some bacon. You could have cut up some bacon and fried that up at the same time you're frying up the leek and put it in the base. But it's a perfect quiche in its if it's in its own right. So now we're going to season. We're going to sprinkle some, just my little salt pig, some sea salt. Don't hold back, guys. Seasoned cooking is the best cooking. And, I don't know if they've got any peppercorns in it, but for Ruth, my brother and sister brought me this back from London one time. It's what's the Beatles song? Sergeant Pepper. So this is Sergeant Pepper grinder. Hi, Trixie. You want to live at my house? Oh, move in. You cheat with the dough as well. You don't know me. Yeah, I mean, I make a short crust pastry from scratch, but never phyllo. I mean, apparently you need apparently you can make phyllo in a Thermomix. But, so your Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, this is Sergeant Pepper Mill or Sergeant Pepper Grinder. I thought you'd like that, Ruth. A little bit of England in my kitchen. Okay. We are good to go. There's a little critter that's escaped from one of my fresh herb bunches rolling around on the counter. So we've done all of that. We do have one last thing to do, guys. I didn't think of this earlier. Get the thing out. So there's going to be a bit of rummaging. It wasn't too bad. The last thing we need to do before we pop this little beauty in the oven, this is another one of my favourite kitchen implements. This was my mum's. Isn't it weird? You go live and suddenly everything you do all the time without even thinking becomes, you become uncoordinated and hopeless. Isn't he cute? You love him, Ruth. Yeah. So this is Parmesan cheese, guys. And what's a quiche without a layer of cheese on top? And wait till you see my cheese. I love this little groover. I'll try and turn it so you can see the cheese coming out. See how it's kind of curling it? It's finely grating it, but it also gives it this little curl. Well, I mean, it's going to melt when it gets cooked. But I just love it. Like, picture this when you're making a a pasta, put this little guy on the table with some cheese in it, and everyone could put whatever amount of cheese they want on. You get this beautiful, I'll hold it up to the camera in a sec. You get this beautiful curly Parmesan cheese. And people love being able to put their own amount of parmy on. You just want to make sure you fully cover the top. And we're good to go. This is going to go in the oven for half an hour. There you go, guys. Can you see the curly palmy? It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the oven. Hey, Google, set a timer for 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm just going to put the camera up so we can all have a bit of a chat. You're vaccinated and ready to fly. G'day. I always do shit like that. It reminds me of Hugh Grant in Love Actually when he becomes Prime Minister and he stands out at the front of 10 Downing Street and goes, and then he walks into 10 Downing Street. He's like, I've got to work on my wave. I do the same thing. I'm like, yeah. So we'll just wipe down the bench. It is going to smell amazing as it cooks, and it'll look beautiful when it comes out. Now, I can either end the live now, which is what I might do, because I don't think you guys want to chat to me while I'm doing the dishes. I might clean the kitchen up and then come back live to show you the quiche, or we can just hang out and chat. What do you guys want to do? My sous chef is now sitting right in the middle of like access to the fridge, all the stuff I've got to put away. She's sitting right there. I made it look so, it is easy though. It really is. This is why, and this is, to be honest, this is probably a more complicated recipe than I would like to make because I really want to encourage people to have a crack at making things. I will only ever cook stuff like, no, I won't because I did a completely new recipe. I will do new recipes that I haven't done before. But when I'm doing stuff like this, if I say to you, this is tried and true, like if you want to start a collection, and I'm going to start putting things on my website because my old food blog, I used to cook everything imaginable and then I would put the best of the best in terms of not needing heaps of ingredients, really easy to make. Even people who don't think they couldn't cook will make it and they'll be blown away at how yummy it is. And I want to start doing that again because especially with a lot of you guys in lockdown, you know, we all started baking and doing things like cooking a lot more. I mean, I've always cooked a lot, but a lot of my friends started baking and cooking and doing a lot of home cooking, and now they won't look back. You're not getting any notifications. Oh, I don't know why. Happy to watch me doing the dishes. Well, we can chat. I don't think you need to actually wash. Oh, hi, Melmo's back. Ducky and Melmo were the funniest hecklers in my live last night when we were doing the poached vegetables. It was so funny. This is great. It'll be on the menu this week. Awesome, William. It's so easy. It's so easy. If you love short crust pastries and you like making it from scratch, go for it. But you're going to have to make it. You're going to have to let it proof it. Then you've got to roll it out, and then you've got to blind bake it and use these things. You know, these cooking marbly things. You've got to put them all over the base. Put some paper, like baking paper. Put these on top. Blind bake the fucker. Pull it out. Let it cool down. Let the beady things cool down somewhere else. I've burnt the crap out of myself on these little pricks before. Just go the filo. Lashings of butter. In she goes. Oh, you're going to make it scalp. Guys, always, if you do try things out on my channel, put some comments under the video attached to it so that we can all talk. Because I'm always up for tweaking stuff too. Like if people try things and they're like, I actually threw this in and it was incredible, like share it, let us all know. You're a tester for modern fire alarms. Yeah, filo's yummy. I like it too. I like that it's light. I like that it's crunchy, especially it's got lashings of butter on it, so it's going to be all buttery. I'll tell you about the cheap salad. Now, this isn't going to help people outside of Australia. Well, it might. You might have equivalents that you can get where you live. Let me just grab it for you. I've talked about these before. I've stopped on the way home from work and grabbed one on the way. So these are at Coles. Again, I'm not sponsored, and it's Coles, Coles. So this bag was $5. This particular one is my favourite. It's called Green Goddess. But what is fantastic about it is like right before Nikki and Lily arrive, basically just empty the bag into a bowl. It comes with a tarragon dressing, which is actually I've got a spare one. Don't always use it. Sometimes I make my own dressings. So this particular one comes with this, which is like a little green tarragon dressing. It's actually in the bag, but also in the bag. Oh, where'd they go? Down here, there's a little bag of slivered almonds as well. And I actually pan fry them. I just get them a bit roasted and chuck it in a bowl and away you go. Even better, I mean, it's so easy. And this one has got lettuce, cabbage, zucchini, mizuna, broccoli, celery, and shallots. But somebody's already cut it all up for you. I get 3. If I'm eating one of these bags for myself, I get 3 salads out of this, and you can mix some tuna through it or some eggs, like whatever you want to do. Just checking my battery. I don't know why comments aren't showing up on StreamYard for me today, but anyway. So yeah, I get 3, but like today, the 3 of us will probably eat the whole thing. But another thing that's really cool about it, these bags are completely recyclable. So you give them a rinse, let them dry, and there's a bin at Coles, and you pop them in there, and they recycle them. How cool is that? Oh, you're watching Wizard of Oz. Hi, Val. Good to see you, gorgeous. Oh, Kylie's identified herself. You get their Caesars, yeah. Aren't their Caesars great? They do Caesar salad with egg and bacon and croutons and parmesan. Do they do egg? They're great. But for me to like buy all of those ingredients and chop them all up and everything else, it's gonna cost way more than $5 to get all the veggies. B, you've got to chop it all up. Then you've got the dressing as well, and the slivered almonds. They're great. And there's a whole heap. They do like an American barbecue one, which has got corn and stuff like that in it. They've got coleslaws. They've got ones that have got all the sort of superfoods like kale and silver beet and stuff like that. And you can either use them for a salad or you can stir fry them. Some of them, this one's not one that cooks, but they'll actually tell you on the back that you can use them for a stir fry. They do veggies already chopped up for roast, all kinds of stuff. So again, people that don't like cooking, it's often the buying everything and chopping everything up bit that people don't like. When you've got these ready-made things, and I love cooking, but for me to have bought all of that stuff, lettuce, cabbage, zucchini, mizuna, broccoli, celery, and shallots, and I do make a lot of salads from scratch, but like for lunches and things, these are just so easy. So check out your local supermarket and see if they've got something similar, because honestly, they're life-changing. And sometimes when you go in there, they'll have like 2 bags for $5, or they'll have 3 bags for $6. And they do different sizes. This is like a serving for 4 people, but they do like family size ones as well. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. So that's the salad we're having. I think Coles should sponsor me after that fight. What do you guys reckon? Should we get Coles to sponsor me? What do you think, Sonny? I've got a little love heart mat just where my sink is when I'm doing the dishes. It's little, and she's curled up on that, and Biscuit used to as well. It's very cute. Bye, Val. Have a lovely night watching Wizard of Oz. You have those salads too. They're just brilliant. You really can't. Oh, and the grand dogs, the German Shepherd grand dogs. But bye, Val. Have a fabulous night. That sounds so much fun. Enjoy yourself. Life-changing. Oh, look, the simple things change my life. But I think for people that don't like cooking, it could be life-changing that they can just go and get these ready-made bags. And like the roast veggie one, I was thinking about it the other day. I thought, people that don't think they can cook, all they've got to do is grab a bag of these veggies that are all cut up already for them. They need a roasting dish. Just go and get a chook, rub some oil, salt, and pepper, stick a lemon in its cracker, chuck it in the oven, and they've got a roast dinner, like rather than going to KFC. Because I think a lot of the things people don't like when they say they don't like cooking, sometimes it's just all the prep work that they don't like doing. Come on, Coles. I know. But they've got their celebrity chef. Shit, what's his name? Starts with a C. He's married to an American actress who was in The Bold and the Beautiful, I think, and her character was called Michael. May not have been. Might have been. Shit, what's his name? Curtis Stone. He's the celebrity chef for Coles. Hey, Curtis, want to collaborate? The Shxtty Kitty Kitchen is open for business. Yeah, lemon cracker chooks are great. Flying monkeys are scary. I know, the Wizard of Oz is scary. It's scary. And then, I don't know if you guys found this, but when they went Technicolor with it, it kind of made it even scarier because all the characters were even brighter, like the Oompa Loompas and everything. But yeah, the flying monkeys are scary as fuck. Coles might be the language. Yeah, I won't be saying fucking Coles, will I? Never heard of him. They need you. No, Curtis does all right. He goes all right. But yeah, he married a really gorgeous American actress called Lindsay somebody. Those monkeys gave me nightmares too, more than the nasty witch. The Wicked Witch of the West was almost comical to me after the flying monkeys. And when it's all dusk and they're all flying off and but the Oompa Loompas creep me out too. Oh, wait, sorry. Not the Oompa Loompas. It's Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz. Oompa Loompas do freak me out, though, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I just don't like large groups of people all bursting into song together and knowing all the words and having little choreographed dance routines. It seems terribly contrived to me. But the Munchkins are cute in Wizard of Oz. But yeah, the flying monkeys, they'd be scary. The monkeys are Trixie's heroes. Hey, Cody, we're making a quiche. It's in the oven. Hey, Google, how long till the timer goes off? Huh? What? Hey, Google, when will the timer go off? Oh, so 16 minutes. Look at that. I've managed to crap on for 15 minutes, so I haven't even had to do the dishes. All I've got to do is clean up the kitchen, set the table, and get changed out of my cooking attire. So this is what we're making for the latecomers. It's a tomato and basil quiche. Although I years ago discovered the joy of a quiche with a filo pastry. So yeah, I've opted out of the short crust. We're going with the filo, but we're making this one. And I did make some notes that the Leek Quiche recipe, I added hot smoked salmon and dill to that one time, and it was yum. And the tomato and basil one, my notes are yum, yum. I always scribble in reviews and often I put dates and stuff like that. So, oh, guys, I might as well while we're here too. None of my filo's gone. It's not erect. I used to have a much deeper quiche dish. It was much easier to get erections, but it's kind of like a little court jester's floppy hat now, but that's all right. Where's Yotam? So, we're cooking the book. We're going through this one, but I'm not doing any recipes that I won't eat. They were literally not scary nor mischievous. Trixie, I had nightmares for years. They scared me. Bashy is bomb. Who's Bashy? My friend used to make up the munchkins and yeah, they were sweethearts. I got confused. I went into Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompas. We will have a fabulous time, Scout. Thank you. If the phyllo doesn't look as dramatic as I was planning, I'm just going to break it off the top bits. But the Yotam book, so yeah, I'm not going to cook any. I'm going to cook this one first, plenty from cover to cover. I'm not doing it. Well, someone said to me last night, you're doing a Julia and Julia, but I'm actually doing seasonal, and it just happens that root vegetables are the first chapter, and we're heading into Tassie autumn and winter. Root vegetable central. Hello. But I thought I'd give you a sneak peek on the next dish that we're going to be doing. Now, the third recipe I will not be doing, and I'll tell you why. It is beetroot, orange, and black olive salad. Now, the only thing that I like out of those three things are oranges, but I don't like oranges in a salad. I like oranges all by their lonesome. So I'm not even going to bother. I don't eat beetroots. If I go out to like a fine dining restaurant and they've got a bit of beetroot action happening on a dish, I'll eat it. But to me, beetroots taste like dirt. I mean, they grow in the ground, but yeah, they don't appeal to me at all. But also, I do not like the olive. So we're not going to be doing the third one. But the next time we go live cooking a Yotam dish, we're going to be making a spicy Moroccan carrot salad. And I've just gone, I'm not turning the page until after I've done it. So it's a surprise. But I'm like, because those of you who know my cooking, I love Moroccan, Middle Eastern flavors more than anything else. And I love carrots, and I'm going to do it with some lamb, I reckon. Or maybe some fish. I don't know. But that will be the next time we cook. We'll be doing a spicy Moroccan carrot salad. Now, because it is a dish, like a lot of his vegetable dishes, I'll just eat as a meal. But when it's literally just highlighting one veggie, I'll normally make something else as well. So I'll probably do some, I don't know, some potatoes. I was told last night by a friend I should be showing off Tassie potatoes because they are pretty awesome. So I might just do some potatoes and then just cook them and then put a little bit of butter and maybe some mint through them and do a protein. So that's what we'll be making next time. Basil. Grandma Ducky, it's so easy to make. I'll make this for a brunch one day. What's that? The quiche? How in the world do you not have a show? You're awesome. Oh, thank you. I swear too much. This is my show. This is my show with a small but enthusiastic following. I love it. This is my show. Don't you touch that flamingo. Oh, God, yeah, if it wasn't bucketing down, I'd go out and get it. My flamingo watering can. I love carrot salad. That has me floating over the Atlantic. Yeah, carrot salad and carrot soup, guys. Oh, my God. You know how everyone went through this pumpkin soup phase? Go to carrot soup. So much better. It's lighter. The sweetness of the carrots. You put all these beautiful spices in with it. Carrot soup is the bomb. I would rather eat carrot soup and never eat. I mean, I like pumpkin soup, but carrot soup is delicious. You're going back to bed? But the quiche is almost done, Mel Mel. I'll get a screenshot of it at the end and make it my thumbnail so you get to see what it looked like. Will you be doing a show weekly? Hey, Emily, good to see you, gorgeous. You are, well, we're just waiting for a quiche to cook. You're right in time for the money shot. No, sweet dreams, Mel Mel. I'll upload the screenshot of what it looks like at the end for you. The recipe is in the link, like the link to the recipe is in the description. I managed to find it online, so click on that link and away you go. You may need to convert measurements and temperatures and stuff, but that's okay. I have to do it in the opposite direction when I'm watching an American cooking show. So some I don't know if it exists or not, but someone could do very well out of making an app that just automatically converts measurements and weights and everything with cooking to your country. I had a lopsided apron. Yeah, the money shot. You're just in time for the money. Oh, yeah, carrot soup. I didn't have it as a kid. I just discovered that in the last few years. So next time I can get a box of carrots, I'll make that because it's so much yummier than pumpkin. Like it's sweeter, but I'm not a sweet tooth, but it's got the yummy sweetness of the carrots, and then you put all these sharp acidic flavors like lemon with it, and then if you use like a Ra El Hanu, which is this sort of Middle Eastern spice mix, it can have anywhere from 15 to 23 different herbs and spices in it. And then you've got all those really sort of pungent flavors in that, and then that little bit of sweetness in the carrot. But it's a really light soup. It's beautiful. Delicious. You're reclining on your bed at 9:15 p.m. But yeah, sweet dreams, Mel Mel. So good to see you, gorgeous. 6 p.m. and I'll just wake up. Grandma Ducky, you're a hoot. I love you. I love all of you guys. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. Now, I don't think there's a picture of his carrot salad to lure you back. And I don't want to go further ahead or I'll see what the next thing is. But just a tip, Ruth, I did see what the next thing was. I turned over the page to see if there was a photo of the Moroccan, but I'm telling you, after the Moroccan carrot salad show, you will want to tune into the next one. Just a bit of intel for you. Someone asked if I'm going to do a weekly show. I'd like to work out a day and time that I can do a regular one, but it's sort of happening a bit on a needs basis. So, well, not a needs basis, but like I'm not working today. It's Monday in Australia, so I've got my sister-in-law and my niece coming for lunch before they head back to Singapore this week. So yeah, that's why I've gone live to cook. So it'll kind of be a bit sporadic, but you'll always be able to watch replays, and sometimes I will do little videos as well. I thought about doing a video for this one, but sometimes I'll do videos too. Do you eat the leftover quiche warm or cold? Can you reheat it in the microwave? You could definitely reheat it in the microwave. You might lose you might lose, she's got the zoomies. You might lose a bit of the crunchiness if you microwave. I don't mind cold quiche. Like, I love it, but my mum used to say, just bring it to room temperature. So don't have it cold out of the fridge. Like, let it come to room temperature, or pop it in, and I personally pop it in the oven, but like only for 5 or 10 minutes just to give it a tiny bit of warmth through it. But yeah, you can, I like cold quiche as well. It's entirely up to your own personal taste. If you've got a microwave, I don't have a microwave, so if you've got one and it makes things crunchy and browns things, and then go for it. You don't know me likes cold leftover quiche. Ducky, I've only had quiche with egg. This has got 3 eggs in it. Banana milkshake here for dinner. Welcome to California's fast food. Honey Bunny, I often have a protein shake when I get home. Some nights I get home and it's kind of getting late and I don't feel like cooking. I'll have a protein shake, like a protein smoothie, or I'll have a poached egg on a piece of toast. There might be a tip for Ruth. Upside down in the microwave, use the lower power. There's Emily's tip. But yeah, you could nuke it. I just don't know how to. I can't give you advice on. I can't give you nuking advice because I'm not a nuker. I do not know. Air fryers are good, and they keep things crispy. That's good tip too. I don't have an air fryer either. It'll take me 2 minutes to set the table for lunch. It'll take me 5 minutes to do the dishes, and they're not due for another hour. So you like cold pizza and spaghetti. I don't mind cold pizza, but if I can heat it up, I'll heat it up. Spaghetti cold, never tried it. But I love spaghetti. But I heat up a lot of things, but I do it, the old-fashioned way on the stovetop or in the oven because I don't have a microwave. Teach us to make smoothies. There is a video I made the first time I tried an editing app on my phone. I made a smoothie video. But yeah, I can certainly teach you like green smoothies and stuff like that. The protein smoothies are kind of harder to teach people because not everyone has protein powder in their pantry. The yoga studio where I go sells beautiful organic protein powders that I use. So I'm reluctant to make those unless everyone's got a protein powder in their pantry. Otherwise, I'll just be like, well, I don't have it. I mean, most places that make smoothies say you can add protein powder, like it's an optional thing. Hey, Francesca. But I will make some smoothies to answer that question. I need the microwave for my Stalfers macaroni and cheese. The best after homemade. Hello, Francesca. Grandma Ducky, I came in late. You didn't. You're right in time with a money shot. Hey, Google, how long before the timer goes off? Hey, Sunny, do you want to say hi to everyone? Look. She wants me to chase her. This is Sunny, everybody, if you haven't met her yet. My 9-year-old rescue floof, who is ridiculously beautiful. Look at her belly. Can you see all the curly blonde beach hair? She does not like being picked up. She's actually doing very well not biting me. She's given the blue steel to the camera. Oh, there's a bite. And that bite's got a bit of she play bites and she play scratches. Like she doesn't try to actually break the skin. She's not happy, guys. Look at her. She's like, put me down. I'm a grown woman. I'll just wash my hands again. She's so cute. She does look a bit like a Norwegian forest cat. I think people have said that. And also, Siberian is another breed that people think she looks a bit like. Now, when this quiche is cooked, we literally just take it out of the oven. I'll put it on a chopping board and about 10 minutes before Nikki and Lily are due to arrive, I'll just pop it back in the oven on about 100 degrees Celsius so that it's not re-cooking it, but it's just keeping it warm. And since you guys are working out there's a bit of a flamingo theme in my house, I was given this gorgeous food cover by the Andes. It was one of my birthday presents, and it's so retro-y with this it's not raffia, but this stuff that, there's a lot of 1950s handbags and things that have this stuff woven through. So someone's actually hand woven flamingos onto a food cover. So the quiche is going to go on this, and then this will go over the top. Everyone's loving Sunny. She is gorgeous. She looks like a Norwegian forest cat. Hello, Sunny Fluffy, with those bright eyes and rays. She's so pretty. Her eyes are amazing. You don't know me. My cat looks like her. Mine is a tail. Cute. Have you ever... Sunny, please don't rip the couch. I can't discourage her from scratching her claws on. It's not actually the couch. It's a 1.5 seater that she just... when Biscuit was alive, I looked at it and I thought, that might be a project this year. There's a few upholsterers down here. I was like, find some new fabric and get it reupholstered, because I bought it in 2003 and it's really like lasted the distance, but it's due for a new upholster. But now Sunny's moved in. It's like, I'm not doing that anytime soon. But she also scratches her claws on my couch, which is a corduroy. It's a darker red, like a scarlet sort of red corduroy, and it's a 1970s design. So it's that low, long 7-foot one with floating armrest. So it's really comfy to lie on. Hey, Google, stop. Lunch is ready. And she scratches that too, but the corduroy you can't tell, but the other chair you can. You're a flamingo freak. Why don't we have a flamingo emoji? Exactly. Why not? The Andes are great. They're beautiful boys. All right. It's time to get this quiche out of the oven. Looking good, guys. I always forget to take my glasses off. Oh, yum. Oh, my God. It smells amazing. Oops. It's just totally come out of the dish. Holy shitballs, it slid out without any problem at all, guys. All right. Here's the money shot, guys. Oh, hang on. Why don't I just do this? Look what we made, everybody. Hang on. Look what we made, guys. There is a flamingo emoji. Oh, my goodness. No, I didn't use prepared dough. I used filo pastry. That's why it's got this sort of random edge thing happening. I wanted it to be a bit more spiky. My previous quiche dish, which was a lot deeper, you could get them sort of standing straight up, but the smaller one, no. That came straight out of the dish without any difficulty. Hang on. Oh, I can't. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, God, is this upside down now? It might be. I don't care. There's the money shot, guys. It smells unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hi, Beth M. So there we go. I'll lift it up so you get a look at the sides, since it slid out of its tin all by itself. So, yeah, there's a bit of tidying up to do with. I was trying to be a bit arty with the filo, but look how the filo is cooked. It's beautiful and brown, golden brown. It's crunchy. The quiche itself smells absolutely amazeballs, and that's it. Yes, it took 1 hour and 20 because I went live, but you seriously could knock that out in, well, it's got to cook for half an hour, but you could have it made and in the oven within 15, 20 minutes if you're a really quick cook, maybe half an hour, then let it cook for half an hour and you're done. Lunch is served. So that's it, guys. Double-sided tape will stop the scratching. I hate it when it sticks to the paws. Do it for a while off and on. Okay, thank you. Great tip. So I'm going to cover up the quiche. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. As always, lots of fun. And I love you guys heaps. And, yeah, have a crack at it. Seriously, as far as quiches goes, this one is so easy. It's so delicious. Play around with the filo. I will actually be putting this into back into the quiche tin so that my sister-in-law doesn't see the slightly wonky edges. But well, no, actually, no, I don't care. It's homemade. It's beautiful, just the way it is. But thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. And yeah, I wish they had smell-o-vision too. Oh, spinach and mushroom quiche, yum. But yeah, have a crack in the kitchen. And it's a really affordable one too. It's vegetarian. You can throw bacon in, you could put chicken, whatever you want, but it is perfect just the way it is. So from Sunny and I, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a beautiful day, everyone. I'm going to clean up the kitchen and set the table for lunch for my special guests who are due here in an hour. See you around like a rissole. Bye, everyone. Oops. Like I said at the start, it's not the Shxtty Kitty Kitchen because the food is shitty. It's the production values. See you all again soon, guys.